Hi guys, Puddin here with a game for you of my Tier 8 premium British destroyer, the Cossack. Now, my captain skills will be Priority Target, Adrenaline Rush, Last Stand, Survivability Expert, Superintendent, Radio Position Finder, and Concealment. My modules will be Protect my main battery, faster repairing engines, better aiming, faster rudder, and concealment. The British do not get the engine the engine module that's already built into the ships. I spawned on Seaside, so of course we're going to Seaside. Now I got lucky, and while this is a Tier 9 game, there's not very many radar cruisers, which means, you know, once they get spotted, no, hold on, let's look. It's the Donskoy for sure, and possibly the Neptune. So once the Donskoy is spotted, you know, we know where his radar is. We also know his radar range is 12 kilometers, and we know it's brokenly, overpoweredly, stupidly long. I don't agree with the making the consumable last longer, but it's a 6-second delay. Basically, it's 1 less second of team play. To me, they buffed radar. They didn't do anything to fix the radar solution, but that would be for a different video. Now, I don't want to go straight into sea. I'm going to actually turn and, you know, back into this, because most people end up by where the Asasio is the other good spot, and then this is the other spot they go. And I figured if I come over here, I'm going to have help from the Seattle, and you know what? The Seattle has help from me. Enemy force detected. While I don't exactly have the best smoke, it's better than the smoke that he has. As we see the cyclone warning coming into play. Now we see that Donskoy is in this area, and that I am like 0.2 kilometers away from his radar. And, you know, backing up means I'm just getting closer to his radar. There are 3 ships targeting me. So instead of just sitting there and I'm waiting for the Donskoy radar, I thought maybe I would try to bait it out. Just pull forward a little bit, and hopefully his radar's running. Reverse slowly back into his radar range, and if it's running, all I gotta do is just tip my I want to get out of here button, aka the Y button or speed boost, and get out of dodge. But the other thing is, I'm giving my team time to shoot him, deter him from getting closer to the cap, make him turn out and go away. If I didn't bait out the radar, at least I made him turn away as I popped my hydro. Just because, you know what, the DD came back into the cap. I wonder if torps are coming, and luckily I got these spotted. Now I'm going to smoke up here and shoot at the Benson, because I know I'm relatively safe from Donskoy radar, because he is so far away. Now I turn the wrong way, reversing. Notice I'm getting the cap, but you know what? Man, what the heck? I'll send these torps anyways. I'm not going to really hit anybody, as we are now down to destroyers. Now, the reason I'm not shooting is because people do shoot into smoke, and the last thing I want is somebody to get a lucky hit on me. And you know what? My smoke isn't lasting long. You know what? I want to get the cap and get out of here. I'm not radio located, and if I was shooting, it may give the Benson an idea of where I am at. The other thing is, there's a friend of ours that we do play with, Droko, who is in a test ship, and you're like, okay, I know he's a good player, and I know what that ship is capable of, so I'm like, you know what, if I run into him, I know how to handle the situation. The Lightning is extremely low health, and hopefully will go down. I'm trying to get around to get some shots, but these are still lofty shots. I see it slowing down. Not sure exactly what he's doing, but I am trying to turn to get all my guns to bear. He is reversing. This is long range for this, and it will take me a couple salvos to maybe potentially rain these shells in. But that guy at 48 health is just as deadly as if he was full health, if he plays his ship correctly and just stays hidden. I got the cap and I wanted to move on to B and help the guys over on the other side, because you know what, the Asashio was on the other side harassing these guys, and unfortunately for Draco, he does run into me, and I know his torps are on a cooldown because he just killed our Masashi with them. So I'm like, you know what, I need to bully him. I need to get him out of the game. He is burning, which means his DCP was down as I managed to really just finish off that kill. I wanted to come back on to the A side-ish to, you know what, help out those guys over there, because, you know, we know there are 2 DDs on this side compared to the Benson being on the other side. Now, what I'm still doing is, because I'm not sure what is getting cap, I'm going to stop, reverse into the cap, and, oh, that Neptune's just out of range. But I wanted to reverse into the cap just in case that Neptune is running radar. His radar will be this exact same as the heavy cruisers of the Americans, which puts it out to 10 kilometers. Now, luckily for us, there is a smoke cloud, and unlucky for us, the smoke cloud is in a good spot to block the Neptune, but not in a good spot to block the St. Louis from seeing us. But what I still want to do is still continually reverse into this cap. I still have an Amagi and a Seattle with me on this side. Most of the enemy is still alive on the other side, along with most of our forces. I'm trying to get the caps to give our team time to potentially do something when the cyclone hits. If we don't have any caps, they're just going to increase the points lead while we're getting nothing, just extending their lead even bigger, which is going to put more of a burden on us. Now, our Seattle is coming in to the cap too, and I'm sure some of that has to do with the cyclones finally hitting. He should be relatively safe, but I'm just sitting here trying to spot whatever is going to allow me to spot it, but more importantly, to make sure that that Neptune doesn't come in through that gap there, or the lightning try to come in and do a little sneak attack on somebody. The Amagi's kind of alone. He has no support, so what I was thinking was, if I was at lightning, I'd be going after the Amagi. I could stealth torp, I could smoke, I could do something. As I don't know what the heck I spotted, to be honest with you, because it was just a brief moment. But if I can at least keep the Neptune spotted for the Magi, he may know what to do as the Neptune pops his radar. I'm going to assume the worst, and it is his radar, which means, you know what, I'm spotted, I might as well shoot anyways. And I noticed that there are 3 people targeting me. So if the lightning decides to shoot at me while the Neptune's radar is up, I'm going to take a crack at him. And of course it's Neptune radar, because it was a radar symbol, not Hydro. Now, my team's asking me to hunt down the lightning, and you know what? He was last seen by the Neptune. And the last thing I want to do is pew pew on Neptune to death. I really want to get torps, or hope that this guy pushes out and the Amagi has vision on this guy and kills him. Now, of course, this guy's making some sorts of movement. Looks like he's slowing down, and it wasn't the Neptune's radar, because there's smoke right there. So, not exactly sure what radared me, to be honest with you. But if I was paying attention to the mini-map, I would have noticed that it was possibly the Donskoy, not the Neptune, and then I'd run into the St. Louis. Luckily, my plume was coming down, but unfortunately, I'm way too close to the Neptune. Now, I am slowing down to pew-pew these guys because I do believe the Amagi is the one spotting them. And, you know what, I want to get rid of the Neptune, and I know my torps are, you know, they reload fairly quickly, and I'm hoping to draw the St. Louis in and torp him. But I need to get rid of the Neptune because I know he's probably going to be running Hydro. St. Louis, if I'm lucky, may be running defensive fire, but there's probably just a really good chance that he is running Hydro. As you can see him turn, he kind of anticipated my torpedoes that I've failed to connect with, but luckily for me, the St. Louis turrets do not turn relatively fast, which gives me some time to get away. But you know what, I'm definitely within spotting distance, so there's no reason to shoot. Now, I don't know why the Nagato's not shooting me. It doesn't look like the St. Louis has his reload booster going on, but is there a reason to angle? I probably could have angled to make it a little bit a harder shot, but we're talking 3 kilometers here, and it's relatively easy to hit something at 3 kilometers. Is our Seattle, at least our Seattle is trying to help us, but luckily we get a smoke cloud back. And this is the other thing about the British. Their smoke clouds are really used to conceal you running away. Might as well continue taking shots in on St. Louis because he needs to die, as we managed to finish him off. Our Amagi is low health, and if I could type faster, I might tell him to slow down, stop. Let me torp the Nagato. As you know what, we finally pulled the lead in, and then here comes the Duke of York. So my line of thinking is, screw the Nagato, he's low health, the Seattle should finish him off, or the Amagi. Let me drop torps in on the Duke of York, because the Amagi shouldn't be able to, if he is spotted or showing anything, survive the Duke of York. Now, I didn't want to open up because of secondaries, and I'm waiting for him to shoot, because then I know he's on a cooldown at least, and my smoke is going to be back relatively soon. I don't know what that person said in chat in Russian, and if anybody does, could you please help a brother out, because I actually asked and I don't know if anybody told me in game. But I'm going to stop, use my smoke, pew pew this guy for a little bit, because I know our Seattle is keeping him spotted. But this is may or may not be a mistake, in the simple fact of, if I was out there kind of drawing this guy's attention, it's obviously less damage to Seattle's getting. But then again, I am kind of low health, as our Seattle manages to finish him off. Seattle has a decent amount of health, but if you kind of notice, we're relatively working together. We're focus firing. Nobody's hitting their F keys for anything. There's no verbal communication. I'm not even typing anything. I'm just playing my game into, let me support this guy for as much as I can. Let me support the team as best I can. I've managed to get managed to get the only 2 caps that we did have. 1 solo with the support of the Seattle that we started off at sea. Then we both capped the Bravo, and we're losing these caps. Now, where are the enemy ships? Well, something is on B, which we don't know, and something is on C, we don't know. But the Seattle and myself are going to go and take A. We cap A. It's going to slow the point bleed down a little bit. Because realistically, we're not getting any points, because they are denying us B and they are denying us C. Now, we noticed that it's a battleship on C. I don't know which one. So you know what, we noticed that just by looking at the team panels on top means it could be either the DD or the other battleship. But the nice thing is with the Cyclone, you know what, we could just straight line it to, and there's a Musashi, and trust me, I'm sure the Seattle's heart dropped because it was a Musashi, but luckily for us, his guns weren't looking this way. And now, of course, I'm just going to shoot HE at this gentleman and try to get his DCP down. But this is the nice thing about British destroyers that you can't do in other DDs. I can single fire launch my torps. That guy's in a very, very bad predicament. And I'm going to be able to just sneak my torps by. Now, it's at this point when I could have asked for radar from the Seattle. But the Seattle uses hydroacoustic. And that's a nice thing about these new, the new consumables is when they use it, you can see it. It'd be nice if defensive fire would do it too, or any of that other, any of the other, well, I mean, your heal doesn't matter. But I don't know if this Musashi's DCP is down as he takes a shot and connects a shell and smoke. Now, he's probably going to shoot back at where he got the hit because that's what most people do, which is why I moved to the island because it makes it more difficult. It looks like we get two torps on the Musashi to finish him off. And that was all due to our Seattle just sitting there hitting his hydro. That's one thing I wish more players would realize. Just because you can't shoot the person, if you see somebody in a position to shoot them, use your radar, use your hydro, use the consumable. They may have to wait a couple seconds to be spotted if it's radar, but use the consumable. Let your teammates get the damage. To me, getting the win is more important than anything. Now, of course, because I have RPF, there really is nowhere this Benson can hide. Now, I'm going to try to ping the minimap on, like, the movement of this guy. But I'm also, more importantly, going to type in a chat, eventually, I don't know when, that, hey, I think he's going to A. It's what the movement says. With RPF, it's what I would do because, you know what? These guys... what I would be thinking is they need to cap B, they need to cap C. Let me go into A and get the cheeky cap. But what I did was I slowed down here because I'm like, you know what, I'm low health. If we bump each other, it's going to be... whose horrendous aim can come through. But you know what, I have a Seattle with me. I have help. The poor Benson doesn't have any help. He is all alone. Like I said, I'm still pinging the minimap. I do believe I did type it in, and sure enough, there he is. As you know what, I missed. He connected. He missed. I barely connected. I hit my smoke, get my last shot off, and kaplow. And now the post-battle results. Now, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do hope you learned something about British destroyers. And remember, they may not have the greatest smoke. They can single fire torps, so bomb on targets are, you know, juicy targets for them, and they can still smoke fire and pew pew for a little bit. Please remember to check out our famous streamer, or our favorite streamers, Only the Wicked, Static the Warmonger, Lord Zath, and Sea Raptor. Links to their Twitch accounts are in the bottom down below. We do love the support you guys do give us. We do appreciate all the replays you guys send in. We do love them. The email for that is in the description down below also. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.